Hey, it's me, Puppet DM, and I'm here to tell you all about the sponsors we have here at the Wandering Society. We're sponsored here by Mage and Press, makers of a bunch of 5th edition supplements, like the Book of Kobolds or their series of new classes. And don't forget, Arcmada, the amazing sci-fi fantasy campaign setting for the world's greatest role-playing game. Be sure to check them out at store.mageandpress.com. Up next, we have Roll20. It's the platform we use here at the Wandering Society to play all of our games. It's easy to use, intuitive, and it now comes with dark mode. Be sure to check them out at roll20.net. We're also sponsored by Artelsorian Games. Artelsorian Games make great RPGs, and they've been doing so since the early 90s. Check their books. They've got Cyberpunk Red, which Simon tells me has been played here extensively, Castle Falkenstein, which also has been played here, and The Witcher, which has also been... Okay, we get it! Check them out at your FLGS or online at rtelsoriangames.com. Have you ever wanted to wake up and smell the coffee? Well, now you can with this next sponsor, Found Familiar. Get yourself some damn good coffee at foundfamiliar.com and use the code on the screen to get 15% off. What do you mean I can't drink coffee? What the fuck is felt? And we couldn't end this segment without talking about our good friends at Die Hard Dice. That's right. As a Dice affiliate, we are proud to partner with Die Hard Dice to bring you only the best in shiny click-clacks. Click-clacks? What is... Ow. You can check their ever-growing collection over at dieharddice.com and use the link below to get 15% off. You're putting this all on me? I better get a cut. Hello everyone, welcome to this... Whoa, missing a camera.
I know.
Well, it's not the name of the show. The name of the show is Scion, Birth of the New Gods. I am Simon at Wandering DM. Him, and I am furiously trying to fix it. And all of a sudden it works. Okay, I don't know what happened, but morning was invisible for half a second.
I'm here now.
Hi, everyone. We are on episode 59 of Scion. Before we go into a recap, let's just go around the table, introduce our cast for the day. We'll start with, let's go with Morning, because I called you out already.
Hi, I'm Renee Rhodes. I've been here the whole time, and I will be playing Morning today. We both use she, her pronouns, and Morning is the daughter of the Morrigan, and just met Santa Claus, she's still riding the high of that.
Up next, Kieran.
I am Kieran. I am Hannah, but I'm playing Kieran Kearney, son of Loki. And I use she, her pronouns, but he uses he, him pronouns. And he is currently walking around a museum with a fox in a backpack, which is a normal thing to do. Don't
cute.
ask questions.
Yep, let's move on to said fox in a backpack. D.
Hey everyone, I'm Lynn, Chive, and today I am playing Dee Higa, daughter of Nari, she, her. Yeah, who is, fox in a handmade backpack, so.
And last but not least, Finbar.
Alright, I'm Hawkeye, Kentucky Hawkeye, and I will be playing Finbar Odubda, and I'm not privileged enough to get a fox in a backpack. I just have a baseball bat and a sling. I am the son of Ogba.
And to recap our last episode and why there is a fox in a backpack, basically, the Godlings made their way to St. Petersburg at the Hermitage Museum and were in the process of trying to locate this last Scion that was on the list of their nemesis a while back. The Scion who can apparently disappear in plain sight. And once you got on at the plaza, oh boy, what's the name of it again? Right in front of the Heritage Museum, anyway, Dee spoke with the security camera and found out that there was a thing that the camera calls a troublemaker, and that there are strange things. This specific Scion seems to follow groups of people into the museum every so often. He never comes alone. He's always with a group, but not in a group. The thing is the camera, of course, lost track the moment that particular Scion goes inside the museum, so you took it upon yourselves to try to infiltrate the place, find out where the CCTV room was, and to try to get info as to where this person could be. And in order to do that, well, you rented a room across the street, across the square, in a hotel. Room that was a bit of an issue to bring Midnight in, but was...
But we did it.
Eventually feasible, yes, using a few of your gifts to shift the blame around. You hurried into the elevator, got up to your room, and then planned your heist, which consists of turning Dee into a fox, putting her in a backpack, and basically sneak her into the museum that way, and then have her speak to the tech spirits inside. And lo and behold, it worked. And not only that, but you learned... So part of it was that, learn more info about this particular character who seems to, once he is inside the museum, is just sort of standing there and waiting, looking at people from afar, not really engaging with anyone. It was kind of strange as you learned of these things, and also of the strange encounter you had in Palace Square with those like three young
loiterers, I should say, one of the spirits inside pinged you and said, "Oh, he is here." And so we're gonna pick back up with D and Kieran. You are still in the server room, and as far as I remember, there's one security guard in here, but he is busy looking at his phone or something and hasn't heard or seen you sneak in.
Finbar was distracting him.
Oh, yes, because of the tail. You were muted, Finbar.
Yes, I had him distracted by asking him all sorts of questions and inquiring about all the important work that he does and all the ego boosting needed to keep him distracted.
Yes, that is true. So there's the three of you inside the museum, or the server room, I should say. I would like to know, Morning, did you follow them along, or did you stay behind, like outside of
No.
the server room?
So specifically, I was across the way in the hotel. With the caveat that I could join them at any time, but that I am not stealthy
Mhm.
and would be therefore a huge risk in trying to do this on the down low. If they feel they need me, Midnight and I will leap out of the suite window at the top of the hotel across the street and just ride down the side of it, but only if they need us.
That's what my note meant by party split.
Yes.
I should have been a little more descriptive in my note taken, but all that to
Yeah,
say,
we split the party all the time. What is that supposed to mean?
Yeah. So back in the server room, we just got the ping that he's entered the building. What do y'all do?
I will continue to keep the guard distracted to give the other two time to get out of the room first.
Is it possible for D and I to communicate in any way
Mm-hmm.
in her fox form?
Oh yeah, just because you she's in a fox form, she still retains all of the abilities that she had as a human.
Okay.
Just getting like text, like furious text, if there's anything to be communicated.
Okay.
Mhm.
I need to wait for you to be finished with the cameras before we move anywhere, because that's our first priority.
And I got the footage right downloaded.
Yep, you do.
Okay, so you just get like all caps, like done.
All right. We're gonna head out. We're gonna go and try to intercept him.
Do you signal Finbar?
It's like
Oh.
I think she's also like, I think that all that text goes to everyone. I think also too,
Mhm.
like
The group text.
text.
I'll see it pop up, but and I'll kind of do a lift of my eyebrows to show I got the signal and all that, but still keep my focus on the guard to let you guys get out first. I don't want him turning around and seeing you guys there and wondering, okay, what are you doing here? Let you guys get out first. Then I'll hold for like about 30 seconds to a minute after they're gone to make sure that they're out of view sight, and then I will politely make my exit out. After thanking the gentleman for the wonderful conversation and enlightening information about the great job and important job that he has. The whole Tom Sawyer routine.
Yeah. Does that mean that Dee and Kieran wait for you outside, or do you immediately like take off and start looking for Myra?
Did it look like he was like heading somewhere that we might lose him?
So when you saw him enter, he was at the booth
Mm-hmm.
buying a ticket. There were like other people that walked, like that entered the museum right before him.
Mm-hmm.
You disconnected after you noticed him there, but he's definitely coming in.
There's no way
And-
for Dee to keep a constant feed, like connected to her tablet inside the backpack so that she can see where he is.
Yes, but that would require a check.
All right. Yeah.
Because you would have to basically ask the commies of any camera that you passed by to send you the info. I would say going with what you are as a, you know what, you're a demigod. Let's forego the check in that case. Definitely you can just ask them to ping you
Yep.
whenever you need. And so he has entered the museum and he is heading towards the, sorry, there's a permanent exhibit in there. Yep. Going to a it's like a gemstone carving exhibit. So it's basically a lot of like little statues or little works of arts made with precious stones. And he was heading towards the wing of the museum that houses this this exhibit. He's not running. He's just walking, actually kind of slow, taking in the sights. He never stops to admire anything, but he does, like, you know, you can see him on the feed turn his head, look at, you know, sometimes paintings, sometimes other works of art that are on display, you know, in the corridors that separate one wing from another. And he he's making his way there. From the feed, you notice that he's following a group of 4 people. There are 4 adults. They seem to maybe be like 2 couples visiting the museum. And he's always, you know, 20 paces behind them, if not more. You could, knowing where he is, you could at any point that you want intercept him.
What do you think? Should we just approach? Just do like a... Should we follow him? What do we do?
I mean, we want to confront them.
Right?
I don't know how many other chances we're gonna get, so we did want a face-to-face meeting. So go ahead.
All right. Since we're keeping track of him on the camera feeds, we can wait for Finbar to catch up with us. And then all 3 of us will try to find where he is currently in the museum.
I'm gonna ask Kieran along the way if there's a bathroom, just throw the backpack into like the bathroom.
Okay.
Yep. Just gonna have to like change.
Okay, so we'll make a quick pit stop by the bathroom.
Kieran can just go and like trust Kieran to get started with it, but like she'll follow like probably like a couple seconds later.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, once the backpack is thrown in the bathroom, you change, you can come out. And then what?
We approach him wherever he happens to be. Maybe wait until he's like actively looking at one of the exhibits and see what it is that has caught his attention.
Good. As you approach him, Over here. You would you begin to smell like a rich earthen smell. And hear
There it
the
is.
rustling of like crisp, dry leaves. Like someone is walking in the woods in fall.
Is this a phenomena we've encountered before? This specific set of criteria?
That specific smell
Mm-hmm.
through your scent of divine, you have never smelled it in the game so far.
Okay.
Okay.
It was rustling leaves and what again?
Rich, loamy earth. But the GM needs to figure out what loamy means because it's the first time I see that word.
Rich, dark.
Oh,
It's,
fertile.
like
Okay,
fertile
yeah.
earth. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I figured it was something about like upturned earth or something. Yeah, okay.
Mhm.
Like a field. But yeah, and he's standing there, hands in his pockets, looking at a group of people who are, moving from one like display. They're all like these like pillars, if you will, with the like a glass display case around it and the piece in it. Sometimes the piece is not in a glass display case because it's sizable enough that no one could pocket them. There are 6 of them in this room, with little placards next to each describing, the piece and all that. And when you get within sight of the room, you notice that these people seem to be very taken by the beauty of it all, the craftsmanship, the emotions. It's, I was gonna say a tad much for someone at a museum, but I would like you to reflexively, you can give me either what am I looking for? I'm looking for intellect culture or intellect empathy.
All right.
Well, I've caught up with him at this point.
Yes.
Okay.
Three successes. 6 so far, both of you.
Intellect. Okay, and you said culture or
Either
empathy?
culture or empathy. It's going to give you a different result. Yeah, might not be Kieran's calling, but hey, y'all got it though. Even
She's
with
been
2
hanging
successes.
around us enough.
Oh my god.
I had
They've
2
been hanging
dice to roll
Two
and both were
dice, oh my-
successes.
Okay.
You've been hanging around us so much that Kieran's starting to get
Oh
cultured.
God, you've
Oh
rubbed
my
me
god.
Oh.
I didn't realize the combination of those two wasn't that low.
Oh no, Kieran learned something.
God damn it! The one thing I was trying not to do in this game.
So I'll start with empathy first because D, you're the only one who rolled empathy and you rolled first. The emotions that these people are living
Mhm.
are not quite real. They come from them, but they're being manipulated. And it shows because all 4 of them,
Mhm.
seem to react almost like the same way.
Mhm.
To an outside observer who doesn't know them, someone who's not divine would maybe think that it's just a coincidence that they say, like, they pass the same comments, they have the same gasps and like heaviness of breath. They seem as hypnotized by the pieces. To someone of your caliber, this is clearly someone like there's some projection in there, but there's also like it still comes from them, but it seems to all be like leveled out to the same, like the exact same thing. Strange, but they are not being forced. That's what you would get with your successes also. They're not being forced into having these emotions. With culture, I'll start with the 2 culture, so like what both Kieran and Finbar can denote is that this exhibit, while yes, these are works of art, they're gorgeous, they should not elicit that type of emotion. But also, none of these pieces are in any way, as far as you know, as far as you remember, none of the 6 pieces appear to be magical, appear to be, from the divine. And with 6 successes, one thing more that you would pick up on Finbar, the smell that you smelt with your divine scent is linked to a pantheon called the Bogovi.
Bogovi.
Yeah, Bogovi. Apologies if I massacred the pronunciation. They are the Slavs deities.
Slavic, okay.
Slavic deities, yeah. And one thing that they mostly all have in common, most of this pantheon is really focused focused around and on crafting and the creation of things.
Okay.
More than any other pantheon, they seem to all have like that drive to create. Of course, they're not all creator deities, but it is interesting to note. Make with it what you will.
Some link to the creating or creative process, which would explain the smell of the loamy earth.
Yep.
Okay.
And with that said, are you using any powers to mask your presence?
I'm using Pass Without a Trace. What's it called? Walk Unnoticed. Sorry. Different system.
Yeah,
I'm using Walk Unnoticed.
Yeah. But that affects only you, not the other 2.
Right.
Yeah. And so this blonde individual, this blonde man, you've seen him on the camera. I believe you also have his name, right? Myro? Right. Myro turns around, looks in the direction of the 3 of you. Could you roll manipulation and legend, Kieran? I just want to see if he notices you.
Legend. Does that include ones that are currently marked off?
Yeah. When they ask, like, when I ask for a roll like that, count just the dots, not the boxes. Okay. And I think his is, cunning and legend. Okay.
And success is anything over a 7?
Over a 7, yep. He's got... All right. Well, even though you roll a bunch of 1s, you still got it. So he looks in your general direction. Kieran, you're used enough, and don't forget to mark off 1 point of legend while you're using that power, because it's imbued. You regain it whenever you're done, but you're used to walk unnoticed enough that you can pick up on those like subtle cues, and you can see in his eyes that whenever his gaze should like fix on you, it skips you over.
Mhm.
What are you following me? He just asks casually, nonchalantly to both Dee and Finbar.
All right, I will use my abilities as under the Bard's Omniglot translation and respond back to him in perfect Slavic. It appears that we have a lot of things in common, and we would like to meet with you.
I don't make it a habit of meeting with strangers. Who are you?
I am Finbaro Dubda, Warden of the Learned.
I'm Higa. We're all demigods. Might as well get that off the off our chest. So of Anari. So
The moment you say that, you can see his face. Any wariness he might have had suddenly turns to panic, and he just goes, "Shh.
Fuck.
You don't say these words here. Are you crazy? You're gonna blow this whole thing over."
All right then. What thing?
He looks back over his shoulder at the four individuals, and Kieran, because you're not engaging with them at the moment, you would see the effect on them fade away. They become less interested, less passionate about the pieces.
Mhm.
They become more neutral. And as he looks over his shoulder, he goes, "They're clean. I think we'd better speak outside. Come with. I am Myro, by the way.
Pleasure
Not-
to meet you, good sir.
Not a demi. You know what. Come." And he will pick up the pace and
Mhm.
kind of power walk out of the museum.
Yeah. I think at this point, we say he wants to talk. I'm going to text Mornings like, all right, we found him and he wants to talk. If you want to join us, nothing confrontational.
Oh,
Hopefully.
okay. Just BRT response, and if it's not confrontational, which I think is obviously what Morning is always prepared for, she'll probably take the elevator down like a normal person.
All right. I would
I think
ask.
I think D knows the difference, like the amount of force between we're in trouble and non-confrontational it's quite a bit.
Yeah, it would be much more dramatic. She'd be
Yeah.
way more extra about it if it were
Yeah.
a confrontation.
One thing though, Morning, to rewind the clock a few minutes back, before you got that text message,
Yep.
those three loiterers in the middle of Palace Square finally leave.
Oh. Where do they
From-
go?
They are heading, wait, I guess that would be like south-ish.
Okay.
Towards, so there's a subway station like to the south of Palace Square.
Okay.
And they seem to be heading in that direction. I mean, there are other stuff around, right? There's a cathedral, there's a university, there's blah blah blah.
Right.
But they seem to be making for the Admiralteyskaya subway station.
Okay.
they're not running, by the way. They're not.
Yeah, I wasn't even down for. I was still up in the hotel room for I think
Yeah.
Finbar's confrontation with them last week as
Yes,
they were
you
walking
saw
across the
all of
way.
this.
So, while I saw it, I don't think I know what happened really. You know, like I saw some, and that was it. You
Mhm.
know.
So you take the elevator down.
Like a normal person, yes.
Yes. Are you leaving midnight in your room?
Yes.
Okay. Just checking.
But I'll put the little like do not disturb thing on the doorknob, you know, so that housekeeping doesn't come in.
That kind of makes sense. And so we'll just move the clock a little as, the four of you come out of the museum morning. You can meet with them in Alice Square. And there you would see him for the first time in person. Blonde guy, he's in our Legend Keeper. Short, like gelled, slick back hair. Kind of, sharp features. Like I said, would look probably at home in a fashion magazine. Wearing a leather jacket, jeans. And even though they seem to be walking at a quickened pace, he still has this like nonchalance about him. And he will ask Finbar, D, and Kieran, there's this woman coming our way. Who's she?
She is with us.
Big sword.
There's an armed woman coming our way. Who's she?
She is with us. You have nothing to fear.
Okay then. And he'll wait until everyone is around. He, by the way, is not walking any closer to the monument at the center of the square than like halfway between the museum and the monument. He would stop like dead in his track and
I
just
think
go.
as Morning gets up, she'll like kind of like lean over to Finbar and just be like, those three that didn't, the group that didn't move, they left.
I'll look up and notice it. Do you know what? Do you know? I'll say it in Gaelic, not knowing if Mira's gonna understand it or not. Do you know where they went?
Sure. Yeah, I'll respond and just like the subway, the station kind of thing. And then just kind of like take up just say not sure what that's about, and then just take up like a bodyguard style stance as typical of Morning when there are like charisma based situations that she doesn't know what to do with. So she just arms crossed over her little like frilly pastel dress, big sword, not in hand, but easily accessible. Ready for anything.
So mind telling me why you were following me?
I think we already covered that, didn't we?
We are Scions, like yourself.
What?
We are trying to get in contact with as many as we can. One, to create some unity, and two, I don't know if you're aware, but there are some major happenings going on, and I point to see, have you noticed the net around this island Earth?
Yes, There's been a lot of strange things happening, even here. So I guess you also have trouble back home.
We've been running into trouble a lot of places, yes. The net that separates the divine from the mundane is weakening. And it needs to either be repaired, altered, or destroyed. We haven't figured out which is the best option yet. We're trying to meet up with everyone possible to gather information and to gain allies as much as possible.
I get the
Well-
feeling we're not having as much trouble as you are, though. Otherwise, you wouldn't have put up this hidey hole net.
What hidey hole net?
You got this area of effect where nobody can see us.
Oh. That is not my doing. That is actually what I'm trying to get rid of.
Not yours.
No, we are, And when he sees, like, he glances at the monument and he sees that the 3 people are gone, he just goes, do you have a hideout? Do you have
Yeah.
a safe place where we can talk?
We have a hotel room.
Now we have a room.
I mean, it's as good as anything.
Are you okay with
just-
taking the elevator like a normal person?
Why do you feel the need to mention normal person? Yes, I take the elevator. What? I could also take the stairs. I'm good at walking. I have a lot of cardio.
Well, I mean, based off of present company, we can all do some pretty wild things.
I can also do some pretty wild things, but I do not
Well,
walk up the walls. That's just...
Shall we go
Okay.
inside?
Yes,
and
yes,
then talk?
please. And he
Taking all the
keeps...
stairs to the top floor is a little too wild for me.
I like walking up walls.
He's
Mopey.
gonna he's gonna keep glancing at the monument until you've passed it. Remaining silent. When you get into the hotel,
Mm-hmm.
he finger guns the guy that's working behind the counter, like at the reception.
Mhm.
Seems to know him. Calls him Gustav. The other one says, "Hey, Myro, welcome back." He's, how's it going? And then they start, chit-chatting, small talk in Russian. Talking about, where he's been, what has he met anyone yet? Is he bringing? And then there's like a question that the guy at the reception, he catches himself asking and stops halfway. Finbar, of course, you speak Russian. He asks him if this time it's this whole group at a time. And Myro just goes, "Yeah, just they're friends. We're gonna have a talk." Bring the usual to the room. Whatever room they're in. Any motions for you to get in the elevator. He seems more at home here
Okay.
and less... Well, perhaps his nonchalance was like a mask or something, because his demeanor has changed a little. He seems less wary, less guarded. So did you get the room with the good view? He's gonna ask as you ride up the elevator.
The best view that we could get. So we could keep an eye on everything.
It is a good room. I rented it a
I take
couple
it-
times.
I take it you've been there before, in it before.
Oh yes. Just for what it's worth, do not bring any black lights. And
Understood.
he chuckles. You ride up. go into your room. The moment you come in, he comes face to face with the horse, with the unicorn, and goes, "Whoa, I have done crazy thing in my life, but that takes the cake, as they say."
Oh, this is why I don't tend to take the elevator like a normal person.
Ah, so you're the less normal of all of them. Ah,
I'll look around.
Define normal.
It's like,
well, as far I'm concerned, most people don't broadcast themselves as being demigods, for one.
oh, I do literally broadcast that, yes. You can find me on streaming platforms, actually.
Yeah, he's gonna take his phone out and just like tap a couple things and go, "You're a crazy American girl. The one that does all these stunts."
Not American, but
Well, I just assumed it's
I
pages in
can
English.
see why you would think that, as I have been living in America for a few months. And I will like pull out I think Morning has business cards now. With like all
Probably.
of her socials and streaming platforms, and like a very kitschy picture of her like holding her sword up astride midnight on the front, and otherwise it's professional aside from that and I maybe even like some screen grabs of some cool stunts, but
That's nice. I don't have my cards around, but you can probably see my face on the cover of a lot of magazines around here.
cool.
I'm going to type his name and just kind of do a search, just see what. Let me try that.
He's a gay erotic model. He's in a lot of places with not a whole lot of clothes.
Good shit.
And with that quick search, you quickly pick up that just like with Morning, there is something supernatural to like how much people can be into him.
Mhm.
His rise to fame seems to come from nowhere. You know, kid got picked up off the street, and because he looked beautiful, and then, you know, there was one photo shoot, and then all of a sudden, and when I say kid, I mean he was just younger, but like shot up in popularity like overnight almost.
Mm-hmm.
Says, I owe my good looks to my mother, Jiva. If I pronounced it correctly, give me a sec. Siva, an S.
See.
She is the god's most beautiful. But that's beside the point. But right now, we're not here to talk about family. You mentioned the net. Oh, did we lose a?
We lost. Yeah.
We did. She just
The
messed up.
internet
The
has-
internet crashed.
She just cast that her hiding ability, so we can't see her.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, Hannah is
Wait, has
Huh?
Kieran revealed himself to?
Nope, not
That's
yet.
an excellent point.
That's like
yeah.
there's no
Not
there's
yet.
there's only three. There's only three people here.
Yeah.
Not that we know of yet, so.
Well, dang.
Give me just a sec. I'll just send her a message.
See, that's how bad the net is right now
Yeah.
for us.
He says, I've noticed the net in the sky. I thought it was to go back to your more serious point. It's the work of the Kalikantzaros, I think. But I don't believe that they are active all over the place. I thought. Sorry about that. I thought they were kind of a local fixture.
Pardon my ignorance, but who would that be?
Oh, they're from underground. They're little hairy creatures with goat legs and tail, tusks.
Interesting.
They
Because
normally
we
only come during the winter solstice, when it's the darkest outside. It's just they don't seem to fear light now, or the sun, or warmth.
Hannah is back, but Kieran is still hidden.
Oh, that's why everyone's giving me thumbs up, and I'm like, what the fuck?
My walk unnoticed was too effective.
Yeah,
Too
it
powerful.
works.
From the game completely.
Yep.
Hannah, you didn't tell us you were a demigod.
You know what? It never
Yeah.
came up in normal conversation, so
Kieran
Yeah, you-
even
you-
has powers over Twitch.
You don't walk up to people and just broadcast, "Hey, yo, I'm a demigod."
yes.
But wild-
you just tell
wild-
people in the middle of a museum or something.
Wild that it hasn't come up in several years of playing this game.
Yeah. So I figured this was part of what was protecting them. The net.
Oh, well, kind of ironic since we think that the underworld may have a connection with what's going on here, or maybe may have some sort of involvement with it.
Why, well, that might actually explain a couple of things.
Such as,
I'm still researching how everything works out, but you mentioned the dome outside.
mhm.
I call it a bubble of indifference. There's a lot of them that have cropped up over the past few months. You see, the Gariganzaros, they do not have emotions. Not like us. They do not have passion. They are sort of on autopilot, if you will. They so the legend goes that they hack away at the tree that holds the world together, because it's dark underground. They can't abide the light, and they can't abide us. And then when it gets dark outside, in the winter at the winter solstice, they come out and try to get revenge. Normally they're mischievous more than anything, but now they've been infecting people with their indifference, their coldness. This is the first bubble in St. Petersburg. So I wanted to see what was going on. Try to figure things out.
So you've seen these bubbles in other places then?
I've read about some in certain places. It's just you just have a knack, you know, to when you read the news to figure out that these things happen. But it mostly started in the oblast outside of town. Couple of little communities, they sort of stopped living, but not as in dead, just they do not enjoy life anymore. It just gets dreary, it gets gray and faded. I don't know what they're playing at, but I figured that this in the sky was the thing that was protecting them. I am still at the very, onset of the investigation. I have to admit I am. Well, I don't know what makes someone a demigod, but I clearly do not have the giant sword or the giant horse.
I mean, most of us don't have that.
We all have different abilities and skills that we've earned and acquired.
Well,
He is great at healing and talking to things.
Well, I have good looks. I am great at igniting the fires of passion. But none of it works against the Karikanzaros.
Alright, I'll ask the obvious question then. When we first arrived here, there were three... don't want to say youths or adolescents, they looked like they were a little bit older than that, but... young adults there in the middle of the square, were those three a part of this group that you talk of?
I am fairly certain they are. They were, or seemed anyway, immune to my natural charm.
They seemed quite oblivious to us as well.
People in the square seem oblivious to about anything that isn't boring and normal. Again, I think that this is their doing. I just... But I'm kind of stumped there.
Now that they've left the square, do you think it's the power of this area of effect is going to go down?
I don't know. They have been here since the very beginning, ever since I knew that there was a thing happening around the square. I mean, how can people not be interested in what's at the Hermitage? Even tourists. Most of them seem to just come in to check it off a list. They don't seem interested in what's in here. That's not normal.
No, not with the quality of art and artifacts that are there.
If you sought my help to try to fix the thing in the sky, I'm afraid to say that I am not any closer to understanding what that is or what it does.
Well, you may have given us some clues and information that we didn't have before that might help us to piece things together.
With just what I gave you, have I been missing something?
You've not been missing something. You imagine someone is trying to put together this big 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, and and you're trying to complete it, but there's pieces missing. You were holding one of the missing pieces, I think.
Oh.
Without knowing it.
Okay. Care to fill me in?
All right. There appears to be a group that is trying to take out the net from around and reunite the mundane with the divine completely. The net was put out by another group that sought to separate them out to keep them from destroying basically all mundane life here on this globe. But with the net weakening, some are sneaking through, and we've had to combat some that were wanting to, shall we say, start the beginning of their conquest of everything. And now we've got to try to either completely repair it, alter it in some way, or do we go ahead and take it down? Those are the options that have been laid before us. And we're trying to figure out what's behind it, so you can't fix a problem until you know what the whole problem is. And I think with this information, you may help us to find more of what's going on.
Oh, well, I'm glad I can help. Can I ask you for something in return, then? I gave you the piece of your puzzle, but I seem to be missing some pieces myself.
Such as?
Well, he looks at Morning, you seem rather well equipped to deal with threats.
I like to think so.
Something needs to be done about the Calicantaros. I am a, how do you say? I am a lover, not a fighter. I don't want them to turn the entire country, world, I don't know, into some bland gray machine.
I mean,
I'd like to put a stop to that.
it has been a while since I've gotten to swing my sword.
You mean you're rusty?
No! Oh, God, no. Just missing it.
Oh, bloodlust.
What? Oh, God.
It is a type of passion. I
Maybe
know
a
it well.
little.
The thrill of the fight, the adrenaline pumping, the swinging, the sweat, screams. I'm used to all of
It
this.
just sounds so sexy.
They did say he's a lover, not a fighter, so you know,
Oi,
very passionate lover from the sounds of it.
there's not a lot of difference between fighting with a foe on the battlefield and wrestling with a lover in the bedroom.
Slightly less blood, I would hope.
Morning is now so red.
As the old cultic proverb says, before you teach a boy to fight with a sword, you first must teach him how to dance.
It's a rather prudish version of the one I know. But yes, I have never been taught how to fight anyway. Never needed to. Except, what do you do against an enemy that is immune to everything that you are? The only thing I can do is know where they are and just track their movements, but they multiply. They come out of their holes faster than I can do anything about.
I mean, you do seem to know anything about them, so that's better than what we're doing.
Oh, well, I know what they look like, but a lot of people in Russia know what they look like. These things, they go all the way south to Turkey.
Well, when you have an opponent that you can't fight, then there's only one of two options. You either ignore them, or you call in help.
Well, this would be me calling for help. Would you mind giving me a hand?
We'll do what we can. If anything, we can find if we can find out more about. Plus, if we can find out more about them, where they are coming from, and if we can trail them, maybe that'll lead us to more information that we need.
Very well. My knowledge is at your disposal.
So, yay or nay on swinging big sword?
Is there no diplomatic option?
And we keep that up. I mean, we try first and have morning's option in reserve. I mean, that's how we view it.
Yeah. Hey, we can always speak softly, then swing a big sword.
True.
Morning like kicks the ground a little bit.
As I pull out old Louis and polish it off a bit, and then put it back in the sling.
You have a big butt. I like that. And there would be a knock at the door.
Yes, I like big butts, and I cannot lie.
Myra will go open the door and bringing basically a tray of various like, pastries and like 4 bottles of vodka, a couple of empty glasses. He says, "Here you go, my treat. They know
Now
me
it's
well
a
here."
party.
And he would pour everyone like a glass, hand it out to everyone, and go, "Well, then, to finally getting rid of the problem around here."
To problem solving.
Yes.
The problem solving. And he's gonna down this. I don't know if any one of you. I don't know if Morning ever had vodka. But this is like
No.
fire down your throat. This is what it is.
Mhm.
And it tastes like rubbing alcohol.
I would imagine even Finbar probably chokes on a little bit because he's used to a good Irish whiskey, but vodka is a few steps up from there.
Yep.
I think D definitely like coughed.
Kieran's a 23-year-old Irishman living in New York. He can do it.
Just maybe the first real stuff you've seen from.
It's like,
Charlie was
finally,
up for a while.
I'm home.
Finally, the good stuff.
So Myro would basically explain, get like his phone out, or if anyone has like a bigger tablet or whatever, but give you an idea of like the region around St. Petersburg. The oblast basically that you called. So it's the entire like area. And in there, so there's a lot of wildlands, a lot of parks, a lot of like smaller, what am I gonna say? Communities. So the Oblast goes from Finland down to closer south, and then from Estonia to deeper within Russia. But the movement of those Kalikansaros, these like weird satyrs with no emotions, basically, they seem to form almost like a line from the south. They were kind of following along one of the main routes, not straight on the routes, but like south. There's like a highway leading south from St. Petersburg, and they're mostly following the same path the moment they come into the Oblast. He knows that there's a few other places down south around like the town of Veliki, and then he thinks that there were some, like, that it started in Belarus, but he's not quite sure at that point because things seem to become a little more muddy. Like the trail seems to get a little colder at that point. He will tell you what he knows about these creatures, which is not a whole lot, but from what he does know, I believe someone like Finbar might actually have a better chance of... Yeah, I would say if anyone has a calling of... oh boy, what's the
My
sage.
academic recall?
No, the sage calling.
Oh.
Anyone with the sage calling. So I know that there's you, but I don't remember if like D has it.
Mm-mm.
No.
Yeah,
So-
because I'm definitely sage.
Yeah, so Finbar alone, if you wanted to make let's go with intellect and insight. Because while he doesn't know much, you can infer a lot with your just like divine knowledge.
Insight is...
Oh, my bad. It's
Which one?
I'm sorry, it's integrity.
Integrity. Okay. Okay. Alrighty, here we go.
On
Three
three
successes.
successes, you are fairly confident in the information I'm going to give you.
Okay.
The Kalikansaros are creatures of varying sizes. Apparently, they have a whole like civilization, if you would. Their entire shtick is to saw the trunk of the tree that holds the earth in half so that it falls down for whatever reason they want to. The reason that Myro gives you that they're jealous of humanity, you're pretty sure that's not what it is. But they seem to be focused on just that, the splitting of things. The like dividing line. All of these metaphors, this symbolism seems to be very important to them. It's like their entire culture seems to revolve around separating things.
Mm-hmm.
But also of a sort of mindless industrialization of just work for work's sake. And with 3 successes, you are fairly confident that they might have at some point been somewhere behind the creation of the USSR. That they would have influenced, maybe with like those like bubbles that they create or something, and have inspired humans to go in a direction.
Okay.
All
right.
That's where the theories become a little too vague even for you.
Okay.
But Myro has no idea about that.
Do I know of any other areas in the world where stuff like this has or is happening? Anything similar to this outside of Russia in this region?
Well, do you remember the cruise that you were on in the Mediterranean?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There was like a sort of
our trip to Malta?
earthquake. Yeah. There was a sort of earthquake on Malta.
Mm-hmm.
Storm and the fires and the
Right.
blood. Wouldn't be surprising if it was because a fault opened up. You would need to basically dive deep into the sea to confirm it. But when you think about it, it could very well just match if you draw a very, very gross line, sort of that follows the road south. It matches with what Myro said about Belarus apparently having something, and then it chops into the Mediterranean.
Belarus.
And it almost reaches near Malta. Like, if the line is what it is, if they're really thawing the world in half, they're basically drawing a line between, if you take the world map, and you draw a line from the city of Tripoli in Libya up to St. Petersburg, that would almost match what you're off by like kilometers, but at that point, like being off by 20, 50, 100 kilometers might be, you don't know how precise you need to be, but it matches.
You wouldn't have to be exactly on it to have the results
what
of what
happened
to cause it to happen.
While Finbar is thinking about all of this, I'd like to know, what are the other three of you doing?
I think we're just we're listening to the story, I think, or the information.
Morning is still moping a little bit, but, willing to go along with it.
Myro will say that these creatures are afraid of light, but that they are not afraid of violence. They don't seem to have emotions, but they seem to have something akin to anger.
Good.
Or jealousy. Like they're not completely bereft of absolutely everything.
A little bit of Latvia, Lithuania, through Belarus, Poland, Hungary, Slovakia, Malta. Yeah, that would get you Tripoli. Yeah.
And Myra would also ask you, where are you from? Divinely speaking, right?
I am of Ogma, of the Celtic pantheons.
Good. Asking. But yeah, this is the whole list of info you can gather. Oh, that's the word I was looking for. Indifference. Apathetic. It's more of a sphere of apathy that they create.
So, they're literally trying to chop the world in half. Perhaps. Doesn't do as much to do anything with the net when whatever's inside of it is destroyed.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
I said, yeah, well, we certainly can't ignore something that might do a ton of damage to the world while we're trying to, figure out what to do with net.
Makes more sense to save the world first before we protect it, right?
Exactly.
Who knows? Maybe these attempts are part of what's been doing the damage to the net, for all we know.
It's always worth a try to figure out if they're connected.
All right, so obviously we're going to need to get to the heart of the matter. Where, according to the information that you know, Miro, the people behind all of this, whoever be leading them, where would they be most likely located at? Or do they even have that kind of leadership? Do they just do?
You know what? I don't know. I can tell you when I first, the first place that I figured they were coming from, in the oblast. That I can tell you. He can even Google map it and show it to you. It's in the middle of nowhere. There's a lake nearby. A few, gosh. There are a few towns, but and what I mean by few towns is they are probably that they're mostly I don't know, 50 to 60 miles out is the closest. It's just if you draw a circle around all of those, those houses, the epicenter, villages or towns. The epicenter seems to be in this, no man's land, if you will.
Well, I suppose that's where we need to strike. Or at least search more.
I'm a city guy. I don't have a car. Just letting you know.
I mean, we have enough money. We can probably rent one.
Oh, you're people of means too.
Eh.
You could say that.
Well, yeah, no wonder you can afford a room. I have some means myself, but I mean, by all means, if you want to rent a car, I would be glad to tag along.
We could certainly use your help if anything else, since you seem to know, since you know enough about them.
I told you all I know. But maybe I can I don't know, be of service otherwise.
Sounds like we have a plan.
All right. We're not even going to check if you have the means to rent a car. You definitely can,
Yep.
if that's what you want to do.
Sure.
Myro
And if I may,
has-
I would probably insist that we would, not knowing what kind of terrain we're going to be going to, looking for something four-wheel drive SUV-ish, as opposed to a sedan.
Oh yeah, definitely. You will need something little bigger than a regular car. You can get yourself like a sizable Jeep in a way.
Land Rover kind of thing.
He, by the way, has a key to a I'd say a secondary entrance exit to the hotel. So if you want to slip out without having to bring Midnight back to the front desk, there's the what's it called? Like a service elevator.
Service elevator, yeah.
And so you make your way south. You're going to have to drive for, oh boy, let's see. I think it's like definitely a few hours. Like 2 hours.
That's not too bad.
And the last stretch of the road, like the last 15-ish miles, are basically on dirt roads
I figured.
with not a whole lot of things around. Eventually, you leave civilization behind. All around you are trees, grass, rocks, just nature. You encounter a few animals on your way there. You see an actual bear, like a black bear, just few yards off the road, not even scared by the sound of your vehicle. Myro would just point out that bear or like that rabbit later on that you see. They are completely indifferent. Almost like if you were invisible. Like they were just... Sorry. Like they were just on autopilot, right? That they...
It's invisible, or they don't care.
Yeah, basically. At least they're not like in your way, right?
Exactly.
And then, of course, eventually the tree line, like you break the tree line and you happen upon a it's just like a plain of shrubs and grass and the shores of a lake. And he goes, this is mostly where I thought that they came from. Kind of disappointing that there's nothing around.
Well, I suppose we look for where they're coming out of. Every groundhog has to have a burrow to go into.
I guess I have to admit, even in the legends, that they're very vague on how they appear. They just do at night. Which, by the way, at this point in the day, you would be... Because you went in the museum in the morning, right? Because he's always there at like 11. So we're pushing like, let's say 3, 4 o'clock. Sundown is in a couple of hours. But yeah, they just, legends tend to be vague. They just appear. So what now? We just dig holes?
No, we don't dig holes. We search, and as soon as I
Find
get
holes.
out, I'm going to start to invoke my wild purview and use that to help me search through the land here to try to see if I can find any kind of place where something could be coming out of or burrowing into or out of.
Well, that's going to take you about a half hour before you stumble upon something. There's a patch of grass that is definitely out of place. To anyone looking, I mean, you would need to be standing near it, right? As a Scion at home in the wilds, you can figure out when things are natural, when things aren't, where to go, where not to go. And this specific patch of grass it doesn't sway as much in the wind. When you approach it, you notice that it's all artificial. They're just like blades that have been planted around what appears to be a concealed hatch. If you spread the grass around, you would notice a like a rope handle. Same color as the grass, very easy to miss.
Oh.
But it's right there in the middle of this plain.
Well, they definitely went out of their way to try to disguise this, didn't they?
Well, they certainly can't escape your eye, so.
Almost missed it at first if the wind hadn't caught up and hadn't noticed that there wasn't moving quite right. Alrighty. I pull old Louis out of my sling and I grab a hold of the rope. Are we ready to go in?
Yeah, you go first. Go ahead.
That's what I was going to propose. And I'm going to pull up on the rope and look to see if it's a ladder versus steps going down, or if it's just a drop.
You open the hatch. It covers a circular hole about 3.5 feet in diameter that goes down. No rungs, no stairs, no rope, no ladders. Just a hole.
All right. That makes definitely makes things interesting.
Hold on.
Yes.
Okay, I thought I had something that created magical light in darkness, but I don't seem to have anything to that effect. So,
Can't your Heaven's Fire do something?
Heaven's Fire. It's an attack, though. I think that's like Fireball. I don't want to cast Fireball into the hole.
You would just throw fire down
Overkill.
the.
And I was told I couldn't use my big sword.
It's a knee-jerk reaction. You open a scary-looking hatch, and I immediately cast Fireball. No.
Oh, but wait. Wait, there's more. Conjure up to a campfire-sized flame, Kieran, as a mundane miracle.
I'm not
Casual
using any more of
miracle.
my goddamn miracles, Simon.
I'm just saying, you can do it. There's still like 1 point before we get to collateral
No,
damage.
absolutely not. Y'all can go into the darkness. Go ahead.
This seems like a very big hole.
Yes,
Very
it
deep.
does. All right. I'm going to look around for like a small rock or something on the ground or clod and drop it down the hole to see how long it takes before I hear something hit.
You hear a thud after a few seconds. You're thinking this is probably 50-ish feet deep.
Ooh.
A little bit of distance there.
It's you're looking at like almost a 5-story drop. Maybe like a 4-story drop. The hole is, by the way, because it is like 3.5 feet in width, many of you can probably go down and like hold yourselves on the sides and slow down the fall. It's not made of anything. They just dug through the earth, right? So it still is just like packed earth, roots and shit. I can't. You don't know because you can't see.
All
Quite.
right. I am
deeper,
going to use my purview of epic strength and just do that. Have my hands and feet up against the side and slowly work. I'm going to go ahead and scout out and go down first like that.
All right.
Figure if I run into something, I can use that strength to help get myself back up or defend myself enough to get back up.
Yeah. So you start going down. You're not going to need a roll with your strength. You're able to just push and basically climb down at whatever speed you want to climb down.
Yeah. I'm going to take it slow and steady. I'm not going to do anything super fast because I don't want to necessarily create any more attention that might already happen because the hole's been opened up, per se, in case there's someone guarding there. But I just want to take it slow down so I can warn anyone else about anything that might get in their way to try to make it down.
When you're about like 7-ish feet, you notice that your feet no longer touch any sides of the hole. It seems to open up.
Okay.
Near the bottom. If you climb all the way back down and you touch the ground, you can grab the bottom of the hole of like that tunnel to go up. So imagine it's like a funnel, right, with a chamber at the bottom and that little smaller tunnel going up. You could probably climb back out by just jumping and then holding yourself and go. You hear dripping water echo in the dark. You can hear what sounds like the squeaking of maybe like field mice or something. A little scratching. You don't see shit. If you look up, you can still see the light up through the tunnel with probably the faces of your concerned companions. And then
it's a decent climb down. Okay, go ahead.
As you say that, you notice a pair of red eyes open up in the dark. And then another. And another. And another. For the three of you up top, you heard Finbar say that it's... what did you say precisely, if you just want to repeat it?
It's a decent but doable climb downward.
And right after he says that, you just hear like a hoarse cry, like a...
Oh.
And then just the distinct sound of a bat hitting at something. And then more and more and more. As Finbar, you are quickly surrounded by... I was going to say little shapes, but all of the eyes don't match in height. Some of them are higher than others, but they're all... When they jump at you, you can see them before, you know, shoving them aside or whacking them aside. Through the light comes down these like hairy men.
Morning quickly looks over at Dee and Kieran and it's just like, swing a big sword.
Oh yeah, look at him. Finbar's found the fucking Morlocks. Go down there, get him.
I jump. I just jump all the way down. Sword in hand.
We could probably use her wall climbing ability, get down this, shimmy down real quickly then.
D, you can do like vines or something, right?
I don't.
I mean, yeah, if we're doing that, right?
I just jump straight down.
I'm not jumping straight down.
You jump straight down.
I'm fine.
Kieran, you stay up top.
I'm waiting for D to make like vines or something so I can climb down because I'm not jumping down. You listen. You learn things when your dad throws you from the sky and breaks your legs.
Get down here, coward.
All right. I will
learning.
Kieran, I will imbue 1 point of legend to enact my heavy lifter boon so I could catch you if you jump down.
You're gonna catch me in amongst all of this fighting that you're doing with these creatures.
We could do it.
Well, I'm not going to let you fall and bust your crown and have Jill come tumbling after.
All right, Finbar, I trust you. You gotta catch me, okay?
Trustful. Big, extreme trustful.
Big trustful.
Do not drop.
Trust.
Or at least
All right.
land on one of them if you're going to land on something. Don't
Sure,
land on the ground.
I'll
Try
go
aim-
for a
don't aim
soft
from the ground. Don't aim from the ground.
Finbar, because you need to both defend yourself and catch Kieran, I am going to ask for a roll.
Oh, this is how
That's
this
fine.
game dies.
I figure swing
I
with
should've
one
just-
hand, and I figure swing with one arm and catch her on the other on the shoulder with the other arm.
I should have
Catch
just
him on
like
the other
scooped
shoulder.
Kieran up in my arms and jumped down
princess
with him.
style. You should
Yeah,
have. Yeah.
princess style. I should have done that.
If you do that, then Finbar can clear out like a
wanna do
landing
that,
zone at the
Kieran?
bottom.
Sure, let's retcon. Let's go down.
Yeah, all right. I'll jump down with Kieran in my arms, princess style.
All right, as the two of you jump down, Myro will look at D and say, ladies first.
I mean, you don't want to be the one down there. So yeah, she'll like she'll trust fall with Finbar. Let's see if this can't be this. This will.
All right, Finbar, can you make might and close combat?
How D dies.
Might.
D, what
Close
is your
combat.
dexterity like?
It's not good.
How many
3 dice.
points?
I mean, it's 3. It's 3
Three?
points.
Okay, then you just need 2 successes, Finbar.
Okay.
Oh,
5.
yeah, he catches you easy. Like, you fall down and you fall both feet first onto his hand.
Okay.
And he like holds you there like a dancer, like a ballerina,
Yeah.
before putting you down as he's, you know, swatting at the upcoming little things.
D is also, since Finbar is so good at that thing, D is going to take out her camera and take a picture of Morning and Kieran when they land. Just Princess Karen.
Cool. And we will end tonight's session with the 4 of you down at the bottom of the hole, with Finbar batting away at the onslaught of these creatures who just keep coming and coming. And Myro falling ungracefully down the hole.
Oh boy, you didn't just fall.
And no one caught him. So
Sorry, my hands were full.
he's just gonna smash his face down the hole.
If you had waited a few seconds, I could have caught you as well.
Yeah, D, I will want that photo for my next round of
It's
business
gonna
cards.
be. It's a real weird photo because it's like that harsh flash
Yeah.
underground, but there's also like these little
Mhm.
creatures at the bottom too that are like surrounding like Morning and Kieran.
We'll
This
fix
is
it
a
in
real-
post. We'll fix it in
This
post.
is a real weird picture. Yeah, but yeah, she'll send that to me. It's definitely gonna need to be like take some like photo editing to this thing.
Nice. And that's where we're gonna end for tonight, for this afternoon, which means that
Whoop.
next time we play, we start with combat.
Oh boy, good.
Woohoo!
I'm good.
Swing big sword, swing big
Very good.
sword.
I'll punch them. I'll punch them with my tiny fists.
Great.
Well, on that, players, thank you so much for coming. Thank you, everyone who hung out in chat. Thank you again, players, for taking time off your Saturday to come play Scion with me. We'll do outros. We'll start with Morning because I know you have a hard stop. So if you want to do your outro, and then when you have to leave, leave, and we'll
I do.
wish
Thank
goodbye.
you so much. It is date day, so I'm gonna duck out, but my partner will be forgiving if I'm 2 minutes late. So, hi, I'm Renee Rhodes. I have played Morning today. We both use she/her pronouns, and I had a great time. Love it when Morning just doesn't get to swing big sword and has to just like trail around behind the rest of the group. But like actually I love it because I like getting to see everyone else do
Mhm.
stuff. I'm around. I'm on social platforms like Twitter at RayDNR and other platforms like Blue Sky at RayDN and Instagram at RayDN. I plan to still be around on those platforms as long as possible. And I have a couple of things going on, which I will update on there, including like some painting projects, some podcast projects, some writing projects. The big headliner is the same that it's been for the past few weeks, but I'm auditioning for the One Shot podcast host position, and there have been some really, really talented host candidates releasing their audition episodes on the One Shot podcast feed. You can go listen to those. For me personally, I ran Animon's story with a great cast of players and really, really loved it. I have no clue how things are going to go, but because everyone is so talented, it really could go any direction from here. But you can go listen to my episodes and give One Shot feedback on them and help me get the job for host.
Awesome. Do that, everyone. Thank you for coming. Kieran.
Hi, I'm Kieran Kearney. I am Hannah, Hanimation Art on Twitter, Hanimation on Blue Sky, Hanimation Studios everywhere else. You can also find my shop at hanimation.shop, and if you use the code WanderingDM, you can get 10% off your order, which is fantastic for if you need a stocking stuffer or, a little something for somebody this holiday season. It's if you have people in your life who love fandom things, check it out. Otherwise, you can find me here again on Monday for One Frightful Night. And then you can find me over on Laugh Love Lundy's channel on Wednesdays for Call of Cthulhu, which is very exciting. So, and I realized about an hour ago that I've been wearing my shirt backwards this whole session. So that's where my head is at.
Very Kieran.
Yes, very Kieran.
D, you're next.
Hey everyone, I'm Lynn. Gremlin art pretty much everywhere on the social. You can find my art, and you can catch me later on today on PAX Thesmophoria, where I'll be taking part in the 8:30 game of Aliens for the Veterans Day charity stream for Fisher House channel. And next Sunday will be the continuation of Carousel Court, so you should catch us there, see what's taking place in 1985. So be sure to check us out there.
Oh, it's 1985 now?
Mm-hmm.
God. Time flies. And last but not least, Finbar.
All right, I'm Hawkeye, Kentucky Hawkeye. You can find me tonight as Grappler's Keep is moving to its new date and time of 8 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Saturdays. we have getting ready for our next premium live event, the Dirty Deeds PLE. Otherwise, you can catch me Monday nights with my daughter and I as we are working our way through Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, or as we prefer to call it, The Further Adventures of Mouse Droid, as we're trying to 100% out all of the different activities and planets there. Wednesday nights is The Legend of Ben de Mustaine, is my first time playthrough on Baldur's Gate 3. We've just completed saving the tieflings and wiping out the goblins, and now we're trying to find a Githyanki Krish. So we'll see how our team does on that. And then you can also catch me here also on Saturdays for more Scion, and you might actually catch me on Praxagor Thesmophoria's channel on Carousel Court for a couple of cameo appearances, so to speak, at least vocally. We'll just leave it at that. Otherwise, Cancer Clerk by day, RPG fanboy by night.
Thank you so much. And as for me, you can find me over here back on Monday for our second parter of the public playtest of the game I wrote, One Frightful Night. So the horror part of the game is starting. There has been a strange disappearance. Power went out in the town of St. Passery. It's 2 a.m. and shit's weird, y'all. Then next Saturday, I will not be here. We won't have Scion next Saturday. I already told you all in the Discord chat. But for the people watching, because I've been invited to help celebrate Troopers stream anniversary, and I'm going to be playing in a very, very old school game the Trooper fished out of eBay because the books no longer exist or something. And I'll be playing with Lindy from Laugh Love Lindy and Roquette Fox. So I can't wait to see what this is all about. I know absolutely nothing, but it's a 14-hour stream. I'm just going to be in part of it, not the whole 14-hour, but if you want to come see. And speaking of running long streams, we're going to raid Praxagora Thesmophoria, who is currently raising money for charity with her charity stream today. So let's go out there and just share the love and all that. And we will see you in 2 weeks for Scion. Ciao, everyone.